Hey guys, welcome back to Read, Watch, Repeat, the podcast where we review books, movies, concerts, TV shows, and more, and talk about what's worth your time and what's not. So, today I'm going to be talking about The Hunger Games, written by Suzanne Collins, first released as a novel in 2008, with the movie adaptation that came out in 2012. In this episode, I will be comparing the book to the movie and see what worked, what didn't, and which version tells a better story. So, for anyone who needs a quick refresher, the Hunger Games take place in a dystopian nation of Panama. It's where each district has to send two tributes every year to compete in a televised survival competition known as the Hunger Games. This story follows Katniss Everdeen. She volunteers to take her sister's place in the Hunger Games, and she's forced to survive in the arena and the political system behind it. So, one of the main differences that I noticed in the book to the movie um, is the depth of the world building. I feel like the book spent more time explaining how Panama worked, the economical differences between the districts, the history of the rebellion was more in depth, and the everyday struggles that people faced. In the book, since we're seeing it from Katniss's perspective, we get a more understanding of how harsh life is in District 12. Um, I remember a scene in the book that they didn't put in the movie is they had like slaves, like workers. In the book, Katniss realized she tries talking to one of them and they weren't speaking back, and she realized it's because they had cut off his tongue. And I feel like that in the book really was like, wow, it really showed how deeply disturbing Panama was, and how society was. And it's something that they didn't put in the movie, and I wish we kind of did see it because then it would have showed how dark it truly was. The movie did show contrast between the districts and the capital visually. The costumes design and the set design was so amazing, and I really loved it, and I thought it was beautiful in the movie. I feel like it really showed what I pictured when I was reading the book. Another huge difference is Katniss's inner thoughts. So in the book, we constantly hear her internal reactions, her fears, her strategies, the emotional conflict that she's feeling, her decision of who to trust, who not to trust. And that narration helps the readers understand why she's making certain decisions. In the movie, we can't really hear those thoughts directly. And so I feel like some of the decisions in the movie doesn't really make sense, or even the love that she has for Peeta wasn't, it didn't make sense to the audience because it was just kind of, it felt rushed to some people. But in the book, we hear her inner dialogue of her trusting him, and how that love came about. Jennifer Lawrence's performance was so amazing. I think she expressed facially and body language very, very good and very similar to Katniss in the book. And we kind of see Katniss's internal struggle is it's more naturally reduced when moving from the page to the screen. So it was something that the movie was really missing, and I would have loved to hear her inner dialogue a little bit more because it would have made a lot more sense in her decision making and why she does what she does. So one area in the movie that shined out to me, that I feel like they did a really good job, was the casting. So Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss, Josh Hutcherson as Peeta, Woody Harrelson as Haymitch. They did such a good job at capturing the personalities of the characters. I felt like reading the book and seeing how they acted into the movie, like they really did embody the characters, and I feel like it created such an emotional attachment to them, and it was very good. It was something that I really, really liked, and they matched the tone of the characters, and it felt very believable. Like I felt like Jennifer Lawrence was Katniss Everdeen. So some scenes were shortened or removed. Like I said in the beginning, the book is more honed in on the survivor details. So it kind of shows Katniss's struggle in finding water and food. And it showed more interaction with certain tributes, and it shows how dangerous the arena is and how much she really did suffer. And I think these details build so much tension over time in the novel. It was just like one thing after the other, whereas the movie focuses more on pacing. So Some of the slower survival moments were trimmed or taken out. And this does help the film feel more intense, more cinematic. It keeps the viewers engaged so I understand, but I felt like the arena experience was less detailed in the book, and I feel like it made it so much more darker in the book, and that was something that I really liked, and so I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of that. So when it comes to emotional impact, I think both versions was amazing. The book hit a little bit harder for me because I felt like I was experiencing everything through Katniss. I loved hearing like her fear, her guilt, the pressure that she felt like in her mind and her perspective, and it created like such a stronger emotional connection, like you're kind of understanding how she's feeling. Whereas in the movie, it delivers powerful like visually through the music and the acting and just the scenes in general. Rue's storyline was very beautiful in the movie. I feel like they followed it from the book. And also the final moments of the games are incredibly memorable on screen. And one thing, though, that I liked from the book ending was in the first book ending, the tributes were turned into mutts. And I remember very specifically that Katniss in the book said, oh my God, they have the dead tributes' faces. Now, in the movie, they were just mutts. Like, they were just like animals built in a lab that were attacking them. But I would have loved to see the dead tributes faces on it, because that is like when I read that in the book, I was like, wow, this is insane, this is dark, this is crazy. So I feel like that would have brought a whole nother element to the movie. So when I was comparing the two, the book offers a very deep insight on the characters, and it has like more details behind Panama. While the movie has a very good visual storytelling, the performances were great and bringing the world of Panama to life. I loved the costumes. I loved how they had so many people as even background characters. It just made it feel more real. I think they both worked very well. I think the book and the movie were very interesting, and both of them kept me very engaged. So overall, The Hunger Games remains one of the most successful books to movie adaptations because it stayed pretty close to what the book was like. And so I don't know, in my opinion, if I had to pick between the two, I think I would pick the book. But I do love the movie. I think the movie was amazing. The only thing is I really loved Katniss's perspective because it kind of made you not relate but understand her more and build that emotional connection. So I did like that. It was more detailed of her perspectives, but it was, both of them are my favorite. The Hunger Games is my favorite book series and my favorite movie series. So it's amazing. And if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. So stay tuned for the next episode of Read, Watch, Repeat, where I'll be reviewing another book, movie, or concert or show, giving my honest take on it.